Hey everyone, welcome to Secondhand Blasters. This is Normatico here. And you know what? Today I actually am going to talk about something that Mrs. Normatico brought up to me the other day. And she was watching the channel and had noticed that all of the blasters I reviewed tend to be more quote unquote male centric. Now, one of those things that Nerf, it is for everybody male, female, transgender, whatever you identify. Nerf is for you. You are welcome in our community. And if you are one of those elitists who says, oh no, it's not for girls, or oh no, we don't like trans people, you know what? Stop watching my channel. Okay? Now, that being said, she did bring up a good point because I actually have a few of the blasters that are quote unquote female related. I hate that phrase, female. Anyways, that are more geared towards the ladies. We have the Rebel line, which I'm actually quite fond of. I really like the contours and the designs. The Sweet Revenge, in my opinion, feels so much more comfortable in my hand than, say, a hammer shot. And then, of course, there's the Fearless Fire, which is as close as you can get to a futuristic Tommy gun as possible. Now, I'm not going to talk about the Rebel line. I'm actually going to go to a little bit more of a powerful blaster when we go to the Rival line. I am going to the Rival Overwatch series, and that is the D.VA. Now, the D.VA itself, I actually picked this one up just a couple of weeks ago. I know I'm a little bit late to the party here, but I kind of like this blaster, you know? It does have this really fat front end, this really curvy barrel, but you know what? Real men appreciate and love curves. It does have coloring on both sides, which is kind of nice. You know, Hasbro, I will say that you should do this all the time, not just with the Overwatch series, because of the fact that there's no real ugly side to this blaster. You know, you do have these two little horns up here that are supposed to help with aiming, I guess. They do actually move, and you can adjust those to your wants and needs. It does have the actual priming handle here, and it is a breech load very much similar to, say, the Chronos, except unlike the Chronos that I believe holds 5, this one only holds 3 rounds. 1, 2, 3, and you're ready to go. So in that sense, it is very much like, say, a Mega Magnus or the other Fortnite blasters that exist that are internal clip system that only hold 3 of the standard elite rounds in it. So it's a little bit disappointing that you only hold 3 of the rival rounds in this one, but you know, it is what it is. I actually only paid, I think it was like $13 for this. Standard retail price was somewhere in the $25 range and up. They do have the yellow version, which is called the B.VA. I have seen that one online. I've never actually seen it in person. I am assuming that it operates pretty much the same way. The difference is that the charm that it comes with is a little bee, as opposed to the charm that this one comes with, which is a bunny rabbit, of course. It's a geo figure of a bunny rabbit. So it can either be a bunny rabbit or it is that anime emblem when they put up the V for victory sign, like, you know, yatta. But yeah, so this one, it is primed and ready to go right now. It does have 3 rounds. Regarding the actual range on this thing, I would be surprised if we get a straight shot that goes 60 to 70 feet with it. Only because of the fact that I've shot this before and it doesn't feel like the most powerful blaster when it comes to a rival blaster. Of course, we could probably go ahead and upgrade the spring here, maybe put a K25 or even an 18 kilogram spring and see how that improves the performance. But with the priming handle being how it is, I don't know if I want to actually put a K25 in there because it would make it much harder to prime. Now, regarding the chronograph readings, we're going to go ahead and run that right now. I'm going to hazard to guess that we're going to get anywhere in the mid 80s. I doubt that we'll break 90. Now, regarding the comfort of it, I'm not going to lie, it is pretty comfortable though. You know, it does fit easily one-handed. This is a one-handed shooter. You just aim, fire, and that's it. You do have the safety, which is pretty much standard in almost every single rival blaster. Up means that you are good to go. Down means that you are good to press this and you are fine. The charm itself, you know, when you're running, that's going to smack you a little bit, but I'll be honest with you, it doesn't hurt too much. You know, it is a harder rubber, so you're not going to have to worry too much about stabbing somebody with it. Of course, I wouldn't purposely try to poke anyone in the eyes with this thing because it's going to hurt. The problem that I see with this blaster, and it's a problem that exists with a lot of the blasters that are made with the rival rounds, in fact, mainly the Chronos is what I'm looking at here. Because of the size of this, it is going to be very difficult to find a holster unless you actually get one that is specially made for this blaster. Of course, you can go on a Thingiverse. I'm sure that there's probably someone who's made a holster for this that is you can 3D print. However, when it comes to the actual fabric holsters that you can find online, I actually have a couple of them from Amazon, and they don't really work really well with this, only because of the fact that it's going to close right around here and tighten. So when you try to pull it out, you're not going to be able to unless you actually unvelcro the entire thing. So I guess I should say, yes, it will fit into a holster, but not well. That kind of defeats the purpose of a holster, if you're trying to do a quick draw at least. Unfortunately, you do not have a place where you can actually attach a sling point or even a carabiner. That way you can actually just let this dangle from a belt. So you're kind of SOL. You do have to carry this one. But I suppose that's very much in the spirit of the Overwatch game where your weapon is always hot and ready to fire. Now, I will tell you that I don't see what you could do with 3 rounds. If this is your primary, this is definitely a secondary, almost a backup, really. But it's really big for a backup blaster in a Nerf war. So maybe this falls under the novelty item. Other than that, it is a pretty sharp-looking blaster. This is one that you could definitely go plinking with for targets. And, you know, it's kind of fun. It is the D.VA, and it's pretty. You know, I think that this pink and, you know, lavenderish color, it's really nice. The pink, blue, and gray, it is a really sharp combination. The orange, you know what? They could have done something with this because I understand that it's a toy, and per regulations, you're supposed to put all blasters with an orange tip, but they could have done something with this. Leave the orange tip there and then do something with this, add some more color to it, because I don't know of anyone that's honestly going to confuse this with a real live fire weapon. So there's that. Now, regarding if this is worth the price or not, that is entirely up to you. If you are an Overwatch fan and you want to collect the entire series, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. However, I don't know if for a 3-round blaster, I'm willing to pay what they were originally asking for this for retail. So we'll see. Maybe the performance is going to shock us and I'll be like, heck yeah, that's worth it. But right now, I'm leaning more towards the maybe not really. So yeah. Let's go ahead and actually put this through the chrono really quick, and we'll be back. Okay, so as you can see by the chronograph, this is not the most consistent blaster. You know, yes, we did get into the 86 range a couple of times. However, we also dipped down into the mid 70s. So there's a gap there of about 10 feet per second that I can't explain. Maybe it's the rounds. Maybe it was that I didn't pull the trigger hard enough. However, I shouldn't have to jam the trigger just to get a higher feet per second output from this one blaster. Now, is it worth the money that I paid for it? Absolutely. $15 for this thing. It's fun. It's a rival blaster. I get it. You know, it's only 3 shots. Would I have paid the $25 plus that they would normally ask for this? No. And I understand that you're going to pay the Activision Blizzard tax, kind of like you would if you were paying an Epic Games tax for one of the Fortnite series. However, I expect more if I am paying that much more. So you make the call. Would I stop myself from getting the D.VA because of this? Look, the D.VA is one that I've never seen it on sale before. I've only seen it at $35 and up. So the answer to that one is no. Unless that one is doing something completely special, no, I'm not going to spend that much on it. Now, this is a blaster that I guarantee you is going to be fun for all of the younger women out there. When it comes to the teenage, and I'll even say that the girl that lives across the street that plays with G-Rex all the time, she would probably enjoy this. Now, normally the rival blasters are for older kids. However, I have seen this young lady take one of the larger rival blasters, play with it, and wield it just without a problem. So I would trust that age with this blaster. I do want to go back and touch on one thing where I had mentioned about the gatekeepers out there. Listen, I definitely encourage anyone, regardless of what sex or gender you identify as, to take part in the hobby. It is a fun hobby. It helps to build team building. It actually helps to build up your actual aim as well. And you get to meet some really cool people when you go to some of our events. So definitely encourage your daughters to play with Nerf blasters. Definitely encourage them to actually play with the boys with the Nerf blasters. They'll have fun doing so. They'll make friendships that'll last a lifetime. Now, we're going to actually take this one out into the range now. We're going to see how far it can go, and then I'll be back with my final thoughts regarding the D.VA. Okay, so I am out to do the range test with the D.VA. Now, we're going to go ahead and do one angled shot, one straight shot here. And I'm going to account for the bounce as well. So the numbers that you're going to see are the actual numbers of where the point of impact is, not the bounce. Usually with rival rounds, they usually roll about anywhere between 20 to 30 feet. We have 0 wind today, so hopefully this should not skew our numbers. Angled shot. All right, straight shot. I'm going to go ahead and recover those rival rounds, and we will be right back with the distance results. Okay, so as you can see, we got 70 feet with a straight shot, 90 feet with an angled shot. There was a little bit of a roll, so we added about 15 feet. So 70 and 90 were the points of impact. Regarding this blaster, here are my final thoughts regarding this. You know what? For a child who is 10 and up, this is okay. You don't have to worry about the box saying 14 and up. 10 and up's fine with this. I am perfectly fine handing this over to G-Rex and being like, here, play with this, you know, go play with one of your little friends that lives in the neighborhood. If he or she wants to use this blaster, or they, it's going to be fine, because the speed that you get out of it, yes, it's higher than elite standard speeds, but it's not that drastic. You're not quite at the breaking 100 point yet. So this is fine. I don't know why they put 14 up on these boxes for some of these rival blasters. I will say that one thing I noticed with this is that it does jam, primarily because of that trigger switch, so you got to make sure that you're careful with that. This little piece right here, I would probably recommend either taking it off and just not using it, or hanging this on a keychain or something, just not on the blaster, because when you're running around, that's going to get everywhere, and you're probably going to end up hurting yourself. So that's my final thoughts regarding this blaster. It's not a bad offering. Not for $25 though. $15, absolutely. That puts it right in the range of a bare minimum blaster that Nerf releases. It's a little bit more expensive than, say, the Volt. So I'd go ahead and actually do it that way. Thanks so much for watching Secondhand Blasters. This has been Normatico. Until next time, keep on blasting.